What's going on, everybody? So today we have the update, and this is coming out of nowhere, to be honest. I actually woke up this morning and I had no expectation that Diablo Immortal was going to be dropping a patch today. Actually, I have it on my calendar that my scheduled patch kind of time was around next week because we had that weird mini patch recently. So, you know, I was just not expecting it at all. And this is super exciting. It looks like the patch is going to be coming out January 15th, 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is a lot earlier than normal, so they're changing the times, it looks like. I don't know when I can realistically predict the next update. They said we will not be releasing a content update in 2 weeks, but this update is massive. I did a brief read through here, so you know, this is pretty cool. Looks like the next update will be past January 29th because 29th they're going to be skipping. So in a month from now, we're going to get another update. But this one is a big one. First off, guys, we have 36 new legendary items. Now, I'm going to come back and circle around to read through these ones for those of you that might not want to like listen to me go through all these ones. But I will leave timestamps for like the major patch and then the legendary items at the end if you guys want to listen to that. But 6 per class, super big, super awesome. I'm currently a wizard, so I'm going to go over those ones in particular, but I'm also going to reflect because I've played every class, so I kind of have an idea on what these things are going to do. Guys, check this out. So I actually made a video this morning all about, you know, legendary essence extraction and how it could potentially be in the game because of exclusive legendary items. And guess what? I was 100% correct. It's funny because a lot of people just didn't believe me. They called me a liar, or they just thought I was silly. And guess what? I was 100% correct. So you can see here, new method of essence extraction has been discovered. You can enhance your legendary attributes to increase the power by extracting the same essences multiple times. Legendary equipment can no longer be salvaged at the blacksmith and instead must be extracted. Essence extraction still provides players with the same upgrade materials, but now you'll find duplicate legendary equipment. Your overall power will increase too. When you find a new legendary item, your first extraction will pull out the legendary essence and store it, as it always has. Further extractions will grant you essence energy to increase your essence mastery level. However, extracting essence energy from a particular legendary item will become more difficult with each essence energy you obtain from it. Eventually, you will no longer be able to extract that energy from the legendary item. Additionally, you will now receive upgrade materials on the first extraction for every legendary essence and no longer must choose between gaining a legendary essence or upgrade material. Very nice. As the essence mastery level increases, it will further enhance your power. Some skills receive damage bonuses, while others might receive cooldown reduction or other effects. You can always view your current power. So this is literally exactly what I said was going to happen. You're going to get duplicate legendary items. You're going to extract it for additional cooldown reduction, additional damage, or other effects, potentially additional charges for certain skills. This is exactly what I said was going to happen, and I'm super, super excited about this. This is my personal favorite update in its entirety, in the entire time of the game, besides class change. This is my #1 favorite change, and I'm super hyped about this. This is definitely gonna change people's, you know, viewpoint. I've had a lot of people saying, oh, there's no reason to pre-farm items. I disagree with that. You're gonna get a head start in terms of quality of gear, and you're going to be able to use that quality of gear longer period of time. So you're basically just going to be overall a little bit stronger if you pre-farm items. But this means that maybe pre-farming Hell 8 is going to be way more valuable because you don't need to be Paragon 600 for you to extract the essence of the legendary item. Has that never been needed. Therefore, you might be able to pre-farm your essence extraction. So for those of you that are grinding out the game, getting your combat rating higher, this is now a new method potentially of getting way stronger than before. Obviously, I'm not quite 100% sure on how this is going to roll out in terms of Hell 8. Again, as I mentioned in my video earlier today, it says exclusive legendary equipment on Hell 8. Therefore, I'm imagining Hell 8 is where you're going to get access to the system most often, but it's probably going to be accessing, you're going to be able to access the system overall. Now, this also changes every single class because I might want to cycle between all the classes again because each class now has their own legendary essence extraction system, most likely, unless your essence level transfers between class changes. I'm not 100% sure on that one. We'll have to see. Then we have dungeon set item drops. We're gonna have a guaranteed set item after certain dungeon completion. Another thing that I specifically mentioned in a video, several videos actually, and I'm not sure how long because it says we'll now drop a guaranteed set item after many dungeon completions. This is a scary word to me. I don't know if it's going to be 10, if it's going to be 15, or if it's going to be 5 or 6. I mentioned it should be after 6 dungeons. You should guarantee get a set drop. This is massive, and I'm super excited about this. Guys, between these two, best update, in my opinion, bar none. Literally the best update since this game has basically been in circulation, right? Better than the previous major update that I have went over and what we have in the early December. This to me is major update already. Cross-server dungeons. So now we're going to make Party Finder even better and even easier to use. So awesome. Immortal system improvements. Immortal will now receive more information about the shadows when alerted to defend the vault. Immortal parties in the queue will see the shadow party that has queued defend against them, along with the relative strength of the shadow party. Party leader of the immortal group will then be able to decide either to accept defending or pass on to another immortal party. Interesting. So you're basically going to be able to, as immortals, target your best groups against their best groups, which is very, very important, and makes immortal system defending very, very easy. Rejoining the Shadows faction, we're making the experience easier, experience of rejoining the Shadows after a new cycle of strife easier. The lottery system has been replaced with a first come, first serve system. An adventurer who successfully signs up during one of these 3 daily recruitment periods can instantly embark on the trail to become a Shadow. Very, very cool. This probably is outside. You don't even need to be in a clan, it looks like. That's very cool. Treasure Hunter Paragon Tree. The Treasure Hunter Paragon has been updated to remove this restriction of outdoor areas. Oh, let's go. Treasure Hunter has been my favorite tree since the beginning of the game. I've advocated this tree since day one. As soon as I hit Paragon 50, I told everyone to swap the Treasure Hunter. I've been using Treasure Hunter since day one. I 100% am on board with Treasure Hunter, and this makes Treasure Hunter basically the best tree de facto in the entire game outside of PvP content. You're going to want to run this in dungeons. You're going to want to run this in Elder Rifts. You're going to want to run this in open world farming all the time for extra gear drops, extra gold, and all that good stuff. So very, very cool, and honestly a huge deal. I'm gonna have to do another video on this, on whether or not I felt the difference of Treasure Hunter in dungeons, and you guys will have to give me some data on your own. If you guys send me a message on Discord, let me know if you guys have noticed the Treasure Hunter difference when this patch drops. Super excited about this. Battleground end of season ceremony. We have, when a Battleground season ends, players will now receive a summary of their previous Battleground season. Cool. Converting an adventurer clan will now only cost 5 Akiba signets. This is very, very cool. Makes it much easier. New Residence Wings at 2K and 4K. Woo! 2K is actually not that far off from free-to-play players. It is far off, but it is, you know, somewhat reasonable. That's more for like low spenders to mid spenders. 4K Resonance gives you another tier up, and honestly, I will consider going for 4K Resonance myself, because, you know, getting a little bit stronger, making my PvE content that much easier, making my whole experience in the game that much easier. And then, you know, I like the wings. Honestly, I went for 3K Resonance not because I wanted to be strong, because I like the wings. I think it's cool. And although I'm not like super into like cosmetic effects all over the place, wings was the one exception because it also gave me a realistic value in terms of magic find, in terms of damage. But I know a lot of people, you know, want to see the 4K and how I'm going to get to that. So maybe I will go for 4K. Obviously, it's going to cost, you know, thousands of dollars most likely. So I'll have to think about that. Tongshi's Renewal Lunar New Year event. So this is the Chinese New Year event. We have the Tongshi's Renewal. Looks like a daily task, same event as we normally see. We're going to see new rewards like Divine Framework or Jiansai Portrait frame and a new emoji. Cool. So nothing particularly interesting. We're just going to get, you know, specific quests, right? Do a dungeon, Elder Rift, defeat an elite monster, and you're just going to get these little bags that are going to give you rewards. They're going to gift to a friend, and yeah, so probably similar random legendary items, enchanted dust, scrap material, random gems, emojis, portraits. It's a very standard event, very similar to the ones we've had before. Lineage of Beast cosmetic set. This looks like for the wizard, and this one looks pretty cool. Looks very on theme to like the Jade Dragon type area of interesting cosmetics. And then we have the Wicked Wanderer. So season 9 battle pass. This looks like more of like a demonic set. Very, very cool. Fractured Plane is back, baby. Let's go. The Fractured Plane is a limited time event. We're gonna go 15 floor gauntlet. We're gonna get brand new set of skills, no gems, no gear, all that stuff. You're gonna earn it through the system, and you're gonna get gear as you level up and go through the floors, and it's gonna be pretty cool. This usually is worth doing once a week to get your hilts, but if you guys just enjoy doing it, do it, because it's a very, very fun event. Hungering Moon is going to be back soon as well on February 2nd. And then we have a Q&A series coming up soon, looks like. And let's go click on the bug fixes. Woo. January 10th happened a couple days ago. We had permission settings, join rule warband, spawn outside designated area. We have server transfer fixes. Okay. One thing that I will note, there's a bug with the new event in Stormpoint, and I will have a video on that tomorrow, talking about that because I just experienced it, like yesterday, and I thought it was super irritating because it basically makes that event unable to be, completed. But very, very cool, guys. TLDR here on the update before I talk about the legendary items. The best things about this, Treasure Hunter being used in all game modes is actually going to be a massive boost to Dust, to gear acquisition, especially in Dungeons, because Dungeons has a blacksmith at the end, so you're going to want to run, including picking up the white items. It's going to be a massive, massive deal. We have dungeon set items being guaranteed. We'll have to see how many dungeons you have to run before it's guaranteed. I will run some tests on this when this update drops. We have legendary essence extraction. By the way, guys, I will run a full breakdown of dungeon drops and my drop rate with this new update. I'm going to be testing it out. I decided to wait until potentially the new update because people are going to say it's nerfed even if I make a test and then the new update drops and whatever. Then the legendary essence extraction, which is my personal favorite thing in entirety of DI since the game launched. This is going to make open world farming much, much more useful, much more important, even though I think it is one of the most important things to do. All right, let's go through the legendary items real quickly. I'm not going to spend a ton of time, but I will read through these ones and give my opinion on each one of them. First off, Barbarian. We have a main hand. Whirlwind now draws on the power of the wind to deal increased damage while no longer reducing your movement speed. Ooh, interesting. So Whirlwind's going to be a damage dealing one. It could be interesting for open world. Horns of Harogath, the head item. During Wrath of Berserker, slaying enemies increases your damage dealt by 10% potentially. That is a big one. Your helmet is a slot that could definitely slot in for PvE Wrath of the Berserker content. A Wrath of the Berserker also grants you a shield that absorbs damage. Ooh, could be interesting for PvP. Whirlwind damage increased by 10% for each bleed on the enemy, up to a maximum of 30%. Oh, you could run like a mixed whirlwind bleed type build. Very, very interesting. Furious Charge now causes you to drag enemies with you. Its maximum charges are now 2. I don't believe you can pair this because the other one, I forgot, Furious Charge Pants. The other one, I forgot what it's called, but that's going to knock people up. So now you can just basically run at people and then maybe charge them into your enemies. That could be interesting. Wrath of the Berserker now causes nearby enemies to burn. Okay, I'm not sure about that one. Offhand, you're going to remove the crit chance potentially on Wrath of the Berserker. So, interesting. Crusader is next. Condemn now fills your soul with Valor's Retribution for 6 seconds, causing every primary attack to unleash a lightning bolt at your target, dealing damage to all nearby enemies. Wow. Okay, so this is a chest item, and normally the chest item is going to be like I forgot the name, but it's the bombardment one with the horse. I could definitely see this being very valuable in PvE content, if it does a lot of damage. Falling Sword damage increased by 10% for the shoulder piece, probably a mediocre to trash one. Head item Shield Charge now also grants you 10% increased damage. Head slot. For PvP, I don't know if you're really going to be using this one. Maybe. I don't know. You're not going to really use Shield Charge in PvE content, so I don't think this is going to be particularly useful. Offhand Condemn also unleashes bright light that blinds enemies for 1 second. Ooh, now this could be interesting for PvP. Because your offhand isn't incredibly important. Oftentimes, you could run a lot of different things in the offhand. So I could see this being incredibly useful with a Condemn based build. Pants Condemn deals 10% increased damage for each harmful effect, up to a maximum of 30%. Could be interesting with the offhand. Main hand Sacred Fire now ignites enemies, burning them over 2 seconds. Wow, this is a big deal. This is a very, very big deal for PvE content. I can see that being very, very good. I like the idea that they're turning them into an actual crusader, burning the crusading the demons, right? Demon Hunter headpiece, daring swing also increases your movement speed by 30% for 3 seconds. Very interesting. Very useful in PvE content. Knife Trap now places more durable traps that trigger when you take damage. Oh, interesting. So you can actually trigger these yourself by taking damage. I don't know how useful that is. I found that knife traps are already decent if you just place them in ahead of people for challenge rifts. Then we have after using knockback shot, your damage is increased by 10% for the offhand. Okay, I don't really use knockback shot all that often. I don't think it's very particularly useful, so I don't really see a good use for that in PvE content or PvP. Main hand Impale now can be charged, allowing you to throw multiple knives at once. That's interesting. I really wish I was Demon Hunter to test this out. And honestly, maybe I'll swap back over to Demon Hunter soon just to test out this main hand, because that is very interesting. Chest piece, knockback shot now fires an arrow that immobilizes enemies. Okay, this could be interesting in PvP content. The chest piece, you can have a little bit of flexibility, but you kind of like Heart of Vengeance a lot of the time. So shoulder piece, knife trap now deals 20% increased damage to enemies suffering loss of control. Interesting. So you could do some freezing, some fearing, and then do the knife trap ability, which can be very, very good. All right, so next one up, we have the Monk and Necromancer and Wizard. Monk, we're gonna have Deadly Reach now also has a 25% chance to make enemies vulnerable, increasing damage dealt by 10% for 2 seconds. That could be very good for PvP. 10% damage increase for your whole party. Very, very good. Shoulder piece, Mr. Strict now also causes your next skill within 4 seconds, deal 30% increased damage. That could be very interesting combo potential. So I like that. Mystic Strike is very, very prominent. Mystic Strike now charges a spirit ally to charge forward, dealing damage and slowing enemies in its path. I'm not sure about this one. Maybe some interesting, builds in PvE for that one, or PvP. Wave Strike now deals 20% increased damage to enemies suffering loss of control. Okay, interesting. I don't know how useful that one it could particularly be, but Monk does have a lot of CC. Mystic Ally's duration has now increased 0.4 seconds after defeating an enemy up to a maximum of 4 seconds. That is a massive one for PvE content. That is huge. Especially in a lot of dungeon scenarios where there's some ads, you can kill some enemies and then have your Mystic Allies last longer if you just AoE things down. Wave Strike now instantly unleashes a large blast of energy that damages enemies within the area. Okay, very, very interesting combo potential with a lot of these ones like the headpiece and the shoulders. I like the Monk. Monk is in a very good spot right now. I think these items are very, very interesting for PvE content specifically. Necromancer, Skeletal Mage, damage is increased by 5% each time they defeat an enemy, up to a maximum of 30%. This one's interesting because you could have some AoE where you're just AoEing people down and increasing your skeletal mage damage. Chest piece, Bone Wall now places a larger ethereal wall that continuously damages enemies within and reduces their movement speed. Okay, this could be very interesting paired with the spirit basic attack where you can ignite the Bone Wall. It says it damages enemies within. So if you place the wall and then you ignite it, you could damage enemies within and then burn them with the wall itself. Could be very interesting. Grim Scythe now slices enemies in front of you several times, with the final swing inflicting a bleed. Now that sounds very cool. I don't know how useful it'll be, but could be interesting for PvE content. Your Golem is now linked to you, equally splitting the duration of harmful effects between the both of you. That could be very good for PvP. If you're saying harmful effects, I could see CCs being halved on you. That could be massive overall. Grim Scythe now triggers all continual damage on the target it hits, causing them to instantly take the remaining damage. Ooh, now I wonder if you could pair the main hand with the pants and it doesn't override the other two. This could be a very interesting pairing, to be honest. Then we have offhand. Soulfire now has a 25% chance to explode on hit, dealing damage to enemies nearby and causing them to burn. Very interesting on the offhand. Could be interesting for PvE content. Now we talk about the Wizard here. Offhand, Electrocute also increases your primary attack speed by 6% for 2 seconds. Ooh, I use Electrocute a lot, especially in PvE content. The AoE is very, very nice. Could be a really good offhand potentially, although you're replacing a lot of offhands that are really good. Teleport also increases your damage by 10% for 3 seconds. Now, that is a massive headpiece. Now, a lot of people run the clone headpiece, but I oftentimes will tell people to run Leon's Resident Wisdom because it just does damage on your teleport for PvE content because you do not need the clone. This is the go-to headpiece in every single build for every PvE content, in my opinion, and I will definitely be using this all the time. Shoulders, Ice Armor will now cause your primary attack to decrease enemy movement speed by 40%. That could be interesting for PvP content. Arcane Torrent also fires tracking missiles that seek out enemies dealing damage. Interesting pants. We'll have to see how much it changes the damage in Arcane Torrent. Staff, Lightning Nova also increases your primary attack speed by 30%. Now that could be very interesting. I think there's a cap on primary attack speed. However, if you pair let's say you have a charge stigma, you have the Lightning Nova, and then you're running Vithus, right? You have 30% attack speed there, 30% attack speed from the offhand, and then you have 30% attack speed for Vithus. That's 90% attack speed. I'd love to test out the combination of those two items plus the Vithus. I would love to see it in the works and see if there's really any big difference. I will test with the Vithus on and with the Vithus off to see if there's a capped attack speed for you guys. That could be massive. Chest piece, Lightning Nova now conjures a lightning orb that orbits around you, firing chain lightning at the target when you use your primary attack. That could be very good in combination with the primary attacks. I don't know if this is capped. Look, check this out, guys. We have the offhand, then the staff, then the chest, the attack speed. We're going to constantly proc the lightning orb. That could be a massive primary attack build. It reminds me of magic missile builds in D3, where you're just primary attacking all over the place, and that's your main source of damage. I love that, and I'd love to build a build with that. I'm so excited. Honestly, Wizard has me the most excited, but there's some definitely really good items over the whole build, or the whole legendary item section here. So wow, guys, this is the best, in my opinion, the best update overall, and the most all-encompassing update that helps every single player in the game, bar none, in my opinion. Again, that is just totally my opinion. I think the class change was the second best update, but this one is absolutely beastly. Set items guarantee drops. Legendary Essence Extraction being an amazing feature. We have new Resonance Wings. We have new legendary items. I love this update, guys. So excited about this. Again, I've been talking about the Legendary Essence Extraction system for literally 2.5 months, maybe 3 months at this point. I've been talking about this thing for 3 months, saying that it's going to be my favorite update, and I'm so excited to see if it ever comes to the game, and when it does come to the game, because we had a data mine for a while. And guess what? The data mine was true. It's coming to the game, and I am no less excited about it now than I was then. It is so exciting. It's crazy that I ended up posting that video this morning. And you know, the Legendary Essence Extraction system comes out today, right on time, guys. So excited about it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know what your opinions are in the comment section down below. I'm so excited about this, and I'll see you tomorrow.